Hey everyone, it's Blake. Welcome in to episode number 8 of our WWE 2024 Save and TEW 2020. This is Raw for February week 3. Yes, I know I'm a little bit behind schedule here on these videos. If you guys watched the TCW video we did earlier in the week, I'd been a little under the weather, been losing my voice, so I had to sort of wait to almost get my voice all the way back here so I could put this together. I've had this show booked for a little bit, but just haven't been able to record it. So I appreciate you guys' patience, and we will kind of pick things up a little bit to try to catch up with WWE in reality, so we can get close to at least WrestleMania 40 around the same time as WWE. But as you guys know, we started this before everything sort of kicked off in a different direction for the main storyline. But we had a big development on SmackDown as Cody made his return and went after Roman Reigns and the Bloodline. So that does lead us into the start of this edition of Raw, which does start with Cody, who makes his way out. This gets a 99, so almost a 100. Yeah, we cheat a little bit. We put Roman Reigns in here too on the screen, but come on. You got to do that sometimes, right? So Cody just says that, he said he made his return on SmackDown for a reason. Yeah, he was beaten up. Yeah, he was taken out by the Bloodline. Solo attacked him, all this stuff. He gets it. And they were trying to put fear into him. The Bloodline was trying to scare him away from Roman Reigns. But Cody just says, every single time I've stepped up, and I'm not going to back down from Roman Reigns. I didn't back down last year after I lost, and I sat in the middle of the ring and watched my entire story go in a direction that I never thought it would go in, thanks to Solo Sikoa and the interference and everything with the Bloodline. He says, if they thought that beating me down was going to stop me from challenging Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 40, that's not going to happen. I'm not going to back down, and I am here to tell you that I'm going to go right back to SmackDown this Friday. And yeah, I had a little help last week from an old friend, Randy Orton. I'll be back at SmackDown this week, and I'll step right back up to the Bloodline and anything that they want to throw at me. So Cody just kind of, reiterating that if anyone thought that he was not going to challenge Roman Reigns after the beatdown, that is not happening. He is still going to challenge Roman Reigns and says he'll be at SmackDown on Friday. However, Cody gets interrupted here at the end of his promo by someone that maybe you would not expect. So let's get to 99. Great start. It is Jey Uso. And so Jey comes out, and Jey just says, Cody, we've talked a lot here over the past little while. You and I are on the same page now and all of that. But Jey's just like, Us, I got to say it. We're almost a year removed from WrestleMania 39, and I just got to apologize to you. He said, I feel like I played a role in you not being able to finish your story. We were on opposite sides. I was in the Bloodline. You weren't. When I was in there, you were our biggest target. And he said, I just want to apologize for everything that happened because you could have finished this story last year, but you didn't. He said, but I'm here to tell you that I am all behind you finishing the story this year, and I will do anything that I can to make sure that you're able to do that. I told Paul Heyman last week when he was here walking around on Raw that I wasn't finished with the Bloodline just yet. And so, if there's anything you need from me, you just let me know. But I got to tell you, you can't underestimate what Roman Reigns will do to keep that championship. And perhaps even more importantly, Jey says, you can't underestimate what the wise man, Paul Heyman, will do to keep that championship on Roman Reigns. And so Jey just kind of really pushing this here that Cody's got to be a little careful. Like, he knows that Cody's fired up. He's confident. But this is huge, right? Like, this is everything. And he says that, they will do anything and that there's a lot at stake for Cody here. Because what happens if Roman Reigns continues to hold that championship? What happens? And so Jey's really pushing that idea that Cody's got to be careful. He's confident, but he can't underestimate what they may be doing within, the Bloodline headquarters right now. So that's kind of Jey's message here to Cody. But we're not done because somebody else is out here to talk, and this person you may actually believe would interrupt a Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso discussion. And that is Drew McIntyre. And Drew just says, guys, your drama has run its course. He says, people are over Cody's story. They don't care about it anymore. Drew says, the one they really care about finishing their story is me. He says, I need to finish my story, and that's me winning the World Heavyweight Championship from Gimpy Seth Rollins at WrestleMania 40. And then Drew just says, but Jay, you're out here trying to make up with Cody and all this other stuff. Shouldn't you be worried about your match tonight that helps you qualify for the Elimination Chamber match where yours truly, Drew McIntyre, will also be in that match? And if you do qualify, let me tell you, my first step towards finishing my story will be kicking you in the face to win the chamber, and then I'll do the same thing to Sami Zayn and anybody else who tries to get in my way before the road to WrestleMania 40. So Drew just kind of hyping up that he's the one who needs to finish his story and that he needs to, basically take an aim at Cody and Jay here, and hyping up the fact that Jay needs to be more concerned with his match tonight, which Jay will face Ivar in an Elimination Chamber qualifier match. That's going to be our main event here tonight. So, a little back and forth here, as you guys probably know. More to come with all of this, but gets a 94 on this particular segment. So, all right, now we get a quick video package here. I promise we're going to have wrestling coming up soon. Video package looking at the previous Gunther versus Bronson Reed match. These guys squared off last year, and we kind of get highlights from that match where, again, it was all about kind of the strength of each man and, just kind of showcasing maybe how close Bronson Reed came to, having a chance to end Gunther's streak last year. That was October 16th, 2023. So, we're kind of playing that up. We know this match has already been announced. It'll be Gunther versus Bronson Reed for the Intercontinental Championship at Elimination Chamber. So, a video package looking at that, because that is going to lead us into a match as Bronson Reed gets the win over Apollo Crews. 10:22. The Death Drop Driver does it there. Just kind of, again, sort of a match to push Bronson Reed forward here. With that match not far away against Gunther. So we'll have more follow-up on that next week. So 60 here for this one. All right, now Adam Pearce is waiting by the door, and who does he welcome in? He welcomes Jade Cargill to Raw. We said it last week she would be here on Raw, apparently deep into contract negotiations between both Jade and Raw and SmackDown. So Jade arrives, and so Pearce welcomes her, and they start to walk towards his office. He says, I've got everything ready. We'll go over the contract, all this other stuff. But as they're walking, who steps up to Jade Cargill? It is Becky Lynch. And Becky just says, welcome to the man's house. And Becky just sort of tells her, I hope you decide to sign with Raw, because we've got some unfinished business, I think, that we need to take care of. And so Becky just kind of, giving a little message here to Jade Cargill if she signs with Raw, and Jade just shakes Becky's hand, and that is how we leave it here on this particular exchange between them. But as they're walking away, Becky says, oh, and Adam, when are we going to find out what's going to happen with the person who will challenge the women's champion at WrestleMania 40? So, of course, we know why Becky's asking that. That's because we officially know that Bayley's going to challenge Io Sky. We don't have a challenger for WrestleMania yet for Rhea Ripley. And Adam Pearce just says, I'm working on it. I've got to get this contract to Jade, and I will have an answer for you, I promise, very soon. So, Becky, continue to push, what's going to happen here. And you guys probably say, why have we not announced a women's chamber match yet? Well, not certain we're going to have a women's chamber match yet, but we'll find out what Adam Pearce has in store for the picking the challenger for the WrestleMania 40 match involving the Raw Women's Champion. 69 here. Nice rating for this one. All right, now we get a segment between Damian Priest and the Judgment Day as they're all gathered together. We've got some interesting situations here on this particular show. Priest says, look, we've all been very tense. We know it's all got a lot to do with what happened to Rhea. We've all been very tense, so we all just need to calm down and focus. Priest says we need to focus on our mission, what we did to start this thing, why we're all here, okay? And, Truth's just kind of nodding his head, of course. Truth is just over the top, really nodding his head. And Priest is like, Truth, you want me to throw you again like I did last week? And Truth's just like, come on. All right, I'm listening. And so, he basically, Priest goes down the line here talking to each one of them. Balor's got an Elimination Chamber qualifier match tonight against Ricochet. So they're going to go one-on-one. And he just tells them, the importance of that. And, Dominik, I know you've got your stuff going on with Bron Breakker, but Priest just goes, maybe just lay low for now. Maybe lay low on the Bron Breakker stuff for right now. And then he says, Truth, I want you to get serious because you and JD are about to go out there and team up against DIY. And I need you to get some payback on them from us. They took us to the limit, and it was kind of your fault, Truth, that they came as close as they did to taking our championship. So I want you and JD to show them, what our mission is here in the Judgment Day. So one of these situations here where you've kind of got this being played up by Damian Priest trying to get everybody on the same page, and that's kind of the goal here with that. So we continue on to that match. As we said, it is R-Truth and JD McDonough versus Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa, but it is Ciampa getting the win on JD McDonough. So they come up short here. Gargano carried the match from an in-ring standpoint. Again, we're getting the personal issues note for JD. Ben brought up in the comments exactly what that means, so if you guys are curious about that situation. So we're going to get penalized for that, but that's okay. We have some ways to work around using JD a lot right now, but we did want to use him here with Truth. And the story of the match is, you guessed it, a little miscommunication between R-Truth and JD McDonough. So the tension continues. Truth gets thrown by Priest last week. JD gets up in his face afterwards. We didn't have a segment for this, but JD's getting up in Truth's face this week. So the tension continues with Truth and the Judgment Day. 60 for this one. Of course, much more to come with this story. All right, now we get scurrying backstage. All of a sudden, we hear Michael Cole say that the video cameras have captured something backstage, and it is Xavier Woods, who is down and out here, as Kofi has found Xavier Woods, who is down in the back, and he has just clearly been taken out by somebody. There's tables that have been turned over. There's stuff everywhere. Xavier Woods has been taken out. And Kofi's like, man, I just left to walk down here, and Woods is down. And so everybody's kind of running around, and officials check on him, and we hear Kofi basically say out loud that he knows who did this, and he, talks about it being Imperium, right? So Kofi putting the blame on Imperium. We were supposed to have that tag team match. Woods is down and out. Kofi's checking on Woods, and we have officials really, working on Woods here, trying to make sure he's okay. And all this. So Kofi's staying back here, and all of a sudden, I didn't put them in the segment, but again, we just didn't have a lot of space here for this. I could have made this a different segment, but the basic story here is that Woods obviously cannot compete, okay? And Kofi is staying with his friend because he just got attacked, right? Why would he just go leave his friend after he just got attacked? Wouldn't make any sense. So Kofi's staying there, and the story here is that Chad Gable and Otis, Alpha Academy, are stepping up to take Kofi and Xavier's spot in this match. So they're going to instead go out, and we get the visual. Vinci and Kaiser are in the ring. So they're waiting in the ring, and we see these two, a little smirk on their face, right? As if we know what that means. So they're waiting in the ring, and we see Otis and Gable step up here, and Gable's pissed. He's like, don't you guys worry. We're going out there, and we're going to get this one. And so, so Gable and Otis are stepping up here against Imperium. These two are out. I will let you guys know. The reason we had to run this injury angle here is because I didn't realize it, and even though I don't think it's actually the case in reality, with where we started in this mod, Xavier had an injury built in, and so he is out for at least, I think, 2 to 3 more weeks, so he couldn't really run it, but maybe longer than that, to be honest with you. I think it's longer than 2 or 3 weeks. So he couldn't run the match that we hyped up last week, so I was like, oh boy, I didn't even realize it. I'm like, all right, we got to run an injury angle here, so that's what we had to do. We ran the injury angle. Always check your injury statuses before making these kind of matches, because I just didn't think about it, right? And so it's fine. We work around it. We'll get back to what we had planned, but 58 for this one. We work our way out of it, and that gets us to the match. And it's a pretty great match here, 73. This may have done better than the other one, but as you see, I told you, Gable was fired up. He was fired up enough to where he gets the win on Imperium. So it is Alpha Academy getting the win over Kaiser and Vinci here. Gable with a submission. I prefer the pinfall, but I always forget to set the finishes on some of these matches. I just forget how many guys have submission sort of moves and all that. But great match. I mean, 73 for this one. So all the chemistry bonuses, the usual stuff. I mean, even the stuff between Maxine Dupree and them is great. So yeah, this was kind of it's definitely delivered doing the injury angle. So we work with this, and it worked out pretty well for us here in terms of Alpha Academy getting the win. As always, we're not done with this. But this is just kind of the story of Alpha Academy stepping up for the injured New Day here and getting the surprise win over Imperium. So we'll have more to play on with that moving forward. All right, now we get the announcements before Bron Breakker is in action this week, because he's going to take on Jinder Mahal. If you remember last week, Bron came down in a just pissed off mood, and he just destroyed Jinder Mahal after his loss last week on Raw. So we get the announcement that next week on Raw, we will have 2 more Elimination Chamber qualifiers. We already know Drew's in. We know Sami Zayn's in. Tonight, we're going to have 2 more people who are going to qualify. And then next week, the last 2 qualifiers. Dominik Mysterio going to take on The Miz, one-on-one there. And then it's going to be Bron Breakker versus Shinsuke Nakamura next week on Raw. I'm looking forward to that one. I want to see how Bron does in that match. So 2 more qualifiers being added for this one next week. So this gets to 67. And that is going to lead us into the match. Bron gets the win over Jinder here, 432. The Gorilla Press Power Slam. So Bron continues. Remember, Jinder just kind of pissed off. We get the crowd cooling a little bit. Bron's not to the level we need him to be just yet, but how do we get him there? Stuff like this. This is how we get him there, right? We can't just sit back and just all of a sudden he's just magically going to transform from 30 overall to 70. That's not going to happen. We got to give this guy some work. So Bron gets the win over Jinder Mahal here, 43 for the match. We're not really concerned about that because afterwards, Bron grabs the microphone and a man of few words again. Bron just says, Dominik, you can run, but you can't hide. And that's especially going to be the case if we both qualify for the Elimination Chamber. You will have nowhere to run. And so Bron just kind of, he said it. He's going to get his hands on Dominik Mysterio somehow, some way. Dominik's averted him all this time. But next week, they're both in qualifier matches. If they both qualify, they're going to be inside the chamber together. So we'll see how it plays out next week on Raw. Bron clearly just continues to take aim at Dominik here. All right. Now we get to Adam Pearce, who we kind of continue off or where we left off earlier. And it is Adam Pearce kind of walking now outside of his office. So it's been a little bit, and he hands Jade the contract and says, Jade, this is everything. Like, I would love to have you sign with Monday Night Raw. And Jade just says, I'm going to go look at this. I'm going to think it over, and I'll have my decision for you very soon. And so Jade walks out of the office, and this time, who did Jade walk into? None other than Nia Jax. And we get the showdown face-to-face. Jade and Nia here kind of building off the stuff from the Rumble. So these two go face-to-face, and Nia just says, you better rethink that decision. Because if you think you're coming to Raw to run this place, why don't you take a look at what I did last week, and why don't you take a look at what I'm about to do to Natalya? So, Nia sending a message to Jade Cargill here, basically trying to keep her away from Raw, saying, you better rethink this if you think you're going to join this brand. Not happening. So, 49 for this one. As we just teased, it is going to be Nia Jax versus Natalya. I worry about this match rating. And it looks like it was justified. 35 for this one. Oh, remember, listen, I don't think Nia Jax is as bad as these ratings make her out to be. I mean, she's really, in my opinion, she's improved. I thought she had her best match against Becky Lynch back in January. But it's okay. We'll take the hit for now. But she also is in extremely poor form, which, again, I would disagree with. I don't know if she should have that now. Now, I could understand it back then, but it's okay. Match cooled the crowd, so we're going to have to work with that with Nia, with extremely poor form. We had that with Charlotte, the entire save, I guess, or was it in the Funk? I don't remember. One of the attributes we had for Charlotte in the 2021 save, but this one a little worse because Nia isn't as popular as Charlotte was in that save. So 35, Nia gets the win over Natalya. The story here is like Natalya stepping up, as the locker room leader for the women after the attacks on Rhea Ripley, Bayley, all that other stuff. So that's kind of the story we're playing on this, but this isn't, everything, right? Because it's what happens afterwards. And after the match, Nia going at Natalya again because Nia just wants to prove something, right? She's proven it to Jade, proven it to Rhea, whoever else she's trying to prove it to. And so she goes after Natalya, trying to get a little beat down on Natalya. But here she comes. Rhea Ripley makes her return after the beatdowns from Nia Jax, and Rhea comes in and she just goes after Nia, a little flurry of offense here, and then she clotheslines Nia over the top rope, a huge reaction from the crowd. And so that's kind of your setup here. Rhea just looks angry. She's gritting her teeth. She is trying to get her revenge on Nia Jax, and Nia's just kind of retreating here. Nia kind of holding her mouth like, how dare you? How dare you hit me? So all this other stuff. And so we're kind of just setting up. You guys know what we're setting up, but this is how we get there. 61 here for this segment with Rhea making her return and going after Nia Jax. All right, now we get a video package looking at Seth Rollins and just sort of his rehab here from injury, and that is, just sort of your simple package here. And again, what are we doing? As I mentioned the last time, we're keeping Seth Rollins away from Mr. Money in the Bank. Mr. Senor in the bank, Damian Priest. This is a reason. We kind of, Seth is not here tonight, but we have him on the show. Video package looking at him rehabbing his injury and sort of asking the question, is he going to make it to WrestleMania 40? Like, we're still playing up this question, looking at the severity of this injury and whether Seth can make it to WrestleMania 40. So that's kind of the way we're playing this here. 73 for this segment. And that's going to lead us into an Elimination Chamber qualifier that we hyped earlier. Great match here, and you would have figured it from these two, right? Finn Balor gets the win over Ricochet, 14:56. The double knee gutbuster does it. Good chemistry between these two, so that definitely helped the rating. But it's the result that does get Finn Balor into that Elimination Chamber, so now he joins Drew McIntyre and Sami Zayn in the men's Elimination Chamber match coming up in Perth. So, yeah, Finn gets a win. Great match here. This was just really kind of seeing what we could get out of these two, and I figured it'd be a good match. Ricochet was in the main event last week against Drew, came up short, comes up short here again against Finn. So Finn enters the Elimination Chamber. So that'll make Damian Priest happy, I'm sure. All right. Now, we go to the back, and it is Adam Pearce, who, let's just find an interviewer. Let's just say the interviewer is standing with Adam Pearce. I didn't have enough room to put him in here. But Pearce officially announces that based on everything that has transpired earlier on Raw in the past couple weeks, Pearce says, I have made it official, and Rhea Ripley has actually been the one to request it. She will defend her Raw Women's Championship against Nia Jax at Elimination Chamber coming up in a week and a half. So that match made official. Again, you guys knew we were getting there, but it's made official. And Pearce also says, and I know that Becky Lynch and many others have questions about who will face the winner of that match at WrestleMania 40. Pearce says, I will have an update next week on how we're going to get to the challenger for the Raw Women's Champion at WrestleMania 40. So, Pearce will have an update, and the reason I put all these different faces is just Pearce just kind of listing off all the potential women, who could have a claim, perhaps, to getting that opportunity. And so I put what I thought were, 5 of the top ones here: Becky Lynch, Jade Cargill, Liv Morgan, Baszler, and Stark. So that's kind of how Adam Pearce is playing this up. So we'll find out next week what the, approach is going to be for our general manager to decide the challenger for the Raw Women's Champion at WrestleMania 40. 61 for the segment. All right. We also get an announcement from Michael Cole and Wade Barrett, and it is that we will get an injury update next week as well. So something else added to the card next week. We will get an injury update on CM Punk and where things stand following his, brutal injury at the Royal Rumble to keep him out of WrestleMania this year, to prevent him from, getting that WrestleMania main event. So CM Punk, an update on his injury next week on Raw, and that will be one you will want to see. 88 for this one. And that does lead us into our main event, Jey Uso versus Ivar, the Elimination Chamber qualifier, and you guys probably had an idea of where we would head with this. 69 nice rating for the match. Jey Uso gets the win, 10-19. The super kick does it, so he gets the win over Ivar. Win over the Hoss here in Ivar, but we go further with the story. So now we know Jey is qualified, right? So it's Drew McIntyre, Sami Zayn, Finn Balor, Jey Uso. So those 4 have officially qualified for the Men's Elimination Chamber match in Perth. And after the match, Jey triumphed here. He's got the win. Exhausting fight against Ivar. You guys know we're not finished on this, though. Here comes Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre comes out from the side, and Drew goes after Jey. So, he's just had this hard-fought match with Ivar. guy that's bigger than him. Well, there's another guy bigger than him, Drew McIntyre. And Drew goes after Jay, and he just knocks him to the outside, and then Drew throws Jay right into the steel steps. So Jay's down. Drew just kind of standing over him. Remember, the theme has been Drew has said he will do anything, to get his opportunity to win that World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 40. And so he throws Jay into the steps. Jay's holding the shoulder. He's hurt here, 73, but I know some guys who aren't going to stand for that. Here comes Sami Zayn. As he's running down, Sami runs down, and Sami just leaps right at Drew McIntyre. And so we've got these guys fighting. They're fighting into the opposite, part of the area over there. And all of a sudden we see those guys kind of fighting off near the announce desk, and like they're fighting over into the crowd. So Sami and Drew are brawling over there. Meanwhile, here comes Cody. So Cody comes out, and he's checking on Jay. Jay's down. We've got the medical team coming over to check on Jay here. And so now we got Cody checking. Cody's looking to see where Sami and Drew are. They've now fought off into the distance. So they're over there. So Cody checking on his friend Jey Uso here, right after everything we built up earlier. 83. But as that happens, all of a sudden we hear a voice, and we see the voice and the man on the screen. Not Becky Lynch. The other man. This one is the wise man. As on the screen, we see Paul Heyman with a big smile on his face. So he seemingly has enjoyed watching Jey Uso getting thrown into the steps here by Drew McIntyre. And Heyman appears on the screen and says, Cody, I'm sorry to see what has happened to your friend Jay there. And Paul just says, but I would just like to take this time to respond to what you had to say earlier. And that is that the Bloodline looks forward to seeing you on SmackDown, and we will be waiting for you with something special. And you can bring all the friends you want, although I guess you can't bring Jay because he's a Raw superstar, and quite honestly, it looks like right now Jay will not be able to attend SmackDown even as a guest. So the Bloodline looks forward to your arrival at SmackDown this Friday. So that's how we go off the air. Remember, we had Jay earlier kind of say, Heyman will do anything. Reigns will do anything. What does Paul Heyman have in store after Cody says he's not backing down? He'll be at SmackDown on Friday. We will find out. He's called the wise man for a reason. 95 as we end the segment here. And in this edition of Raw, we get an 84. We increase our popularity, so one of our better shows thus far. Maybe our best show. I don't remember so far. 29 pop regions. We grow popularity. Good to see there. A lot of stuff on this show. 20-something segments. It's a loaded edition of Raw these days on the road to WrestleMania 40. But we do finish off with Heyman sort of teasing that they've got something lined up for Cody on SmackDown. So let's see what we get to before we wrap up. All right, so that was Raw. Awesome show. Fantastic reviews. And yeah, I don't think there's anything else here we need to look at. So let's look at our mail. Tiffany Stratton developmental requests brought onto the main roster. Says NXT is too small for her. Well, Tiffany Stratton, you may be getting your wish soon enough. I won't spoil my storyline plans just yet, but I think we'll be seeing Tiffany Stratton on the main roster soon enough. Drug test fees, Raw gets a 3.02. Nice to see there. Okada. I know people have been asking, am I going to sign Kazuchika Okada? Well, guys, unfortunately, I hate to tell you, we cannot do that. And here's why. Is because not only did he get the extension offer from New Japan, but if we try to sign Okada, doesn't matter because he has loyalty to New Japan, and we've tried to work our way around that. If you guys have any, suggestions how to get around that, I just have not been able to do it. I suppose we could do like a written deal that doesn't involve, he can't do any of that, right? So I don't think there's anything we can do. He has loyalty to New Japan, and so that's going to be the issue with getting Okada, even though I know reports suggest he's going to AEW. But if some of you guys want to see him in our company in the save, if you have any workarounds, let me know. Or we could just, we just say, hey, let's just go into the editor and we're just going to sign Okada. I'm not going to do that, but if you have any workarounds, let me know. But that was Raw. Hope you guys enjoyed it. On the road to Elimination Chamber, of course, WrestleMania 40. And things will start to kick up a notch, as you'll see on this week's SmackDown. Things will really start to, I don't want to say take a turn, but they're really going to start to ramp up a bit, as you'll find out on SmackDown. But Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed it. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Check out all the other stuff here on the channel, the TCW Save. If you want to go back and watch 100-plus episodes, WWE 2021. I'm thinking about bringing back another save on the channel. I won't tell you which one just yet, but I've really been thinking a lot about it and putting a little work into it. So we'll see what happens there. But for now, that's Raw. And on the next episode of our WWE 2024 Save, it will be SmackDown for February Week 3.